Let's begin, shall we?
Hi, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Hope you're having a good weekend or recovering from a bad weekend. Um, yeah, let's get into the stuff. Start off with our movie game for today. Um, yeah, I think I said this last time, but if we get another duplicate, because we seem to be getting more and more of those, we'll do one of the other puzzles um, to make up for it. How was your time? Oh, so that went really well. I think he started actually publishing his VOD, so if you wanted to watch it, you could. But basically, I ended up starting earlier than I thought because he had a cancellation on one of the other people's work he was going to read. So I sent him over my thing, and we had some technical difficulties at the start. But once we got into it, we read through it. His wife, who was also in the stream, um, actually joined voice chat to do some of the character voices because, like, most of the characters are female. So that was really cool. Um, but basically, we got to the end of what I sent over to him, and he was like, do you have any more we can read? I was like, uh, uh, I like that response. And I had a little bit more that I had gone through and edited already. So I went in and downloaded a newer version, sent that over, and then we did a couple more scenes from it as well. So yeah, it went really well. Um, got some good feedback from another streamer who also writes screenplays, and he's actually been in actual real movie productions. Um, so I feel like he probably knows more of what he's talking about. Um, and he gave me some good feedback as well. So yeah, it went really, really well. Glad I did it. Now I just have to do some more editing so I can do another one with the second section from it. So yeah, that's how that went. All right, let's start this up. I think we might have had this one before. Oh, thank you, Major. Yeah, I've gotten less precious about it over the years. Um, kind of when I first started writing, being in a writers group, um, being in a writers group and kind of forcing myself to have other people read it, like really rip that band-aid off very quickly. Um, but yeah, I've kind of gotten to the point where I understand criticism is not a personal attack on me, which is something, which is advice I need to give all people who start having their stuff read by others. And yeah, it's just different people come at things from different ways and they might see things you don't. So it's a very important part of the process. All right, sorry, I'm filling this out already. So we had Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I believe it's Christopher Lee because I think we've had this one before, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. I'm guessing it's Seth Rogen. Uh, Help if I put in his first name. Oh, no. What? No, I was saying for the up and down, having it be S blank T P. Uh, might have gotten one of those wrong. Christopher Lee might be wrong. Tron 1982 would be Jeff Bridges. Warrior, um, Nick Nolte? Yeah, I think Al Pacino is actually wrong there. Even though he was in that movie, whatever. Don't remember the narrator. Oh, yeah. Edward Norton from Fight Club. Footloose. It's not Kevin Bacon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've had this one before. What is it? Jennifer? No. Jennifer? No, Jennifer Grey is in it, but it's not her because it doesn't fit. Ed Harris. Yeah, that might be. Yeah, that fits. Lee Grant. American actress. She won for Best Actress in a Supporting Role for Shampoo. Never heard of that movie. Have not heard of the actress. But yeah, good call on Ed Harris, Major. We got Jeffrey Rush for the Kings. Yeah. And Diane Wiest for Footloose. So I don't know if we've actually had this one before or not. Some of these seemed familiar, but maybe not. I'll leave it up to chat. If you want to do another one, we can do Fill the Grid, or we can get into doing some writing and stuff. Let's do some writing, I think. Alright. We do have the redeems if we decide later, someone decides later they want to do some more puzzles. But for now, yeah, we can get into the reading. So where we left off last time. We had Margaret going to a coastal village in North Carolina. Then she comes into a tavern. And this is the first time we meet Bryn, who's going to be an important character moving forward. So, yeah, this is the first time we're going to meet her. So while Bryn and Margaret have known each other for quite a long time, because Margaret changed her face, Bryn doesn't recognize her. So the first part of this, I think, is more like Margaret seeing how far she can push it and see like if she really is completely unrecognizable now. And she kind of leads Bryn along to the point where Bryn finally decides she needs to know who this person is, saying these things that are kind of catching her as they go. And so she finally touches Margaret's hand, and then being able to see her past, she's able to find out that it's Margaret. So, that is where we left off last time. Oh, also, in case anybody comes in and asks, I added some new commands. I think these are right. So I added one that is exclamation point story. So this gives the genre we're in and kind of a basic description of the plot. She got plastic surgery. No, so Margaret is a witch, and so the first sequence is her and Helene are together. Some hunters show up who are going after witches, trying to basically eliminate all of them. And thinking that the hunters were coming after her, Margaret uses magic to change her face. So that's why she looks different. It's all magic. Yes. And then the other command that I added was for the cast. So we have all of our characters, who we think plays who, and then a link to the image I posted in Discord that I put together of our Dreamcast. So now if people come in, we got commands for it. Just trying to make everything make it so I don't have to answer the same question over and over and over again, which I don't particularly mind, but for people who are here regularly, they've probably heard a lot of it over and over again. Thank you, Major. Yeah, I kind of took the initiative after you made the what software I use, and I started thinking about like what gets asked the most by new people, and just trying to have stuff like that ready so we can get people up to speed as quick as possible. And answer, obviously, the more often asked questions. So, yeah. That's what we got. Okay. Now we got that. Back to we be efficient as fuck. Exactly. These commands are smart and proud. Thank you, Kokoro. That is what I was going for. We also do have quite a few like nonsense commands, which are also very fun. But I think if you do exclamation point command, it should have a list of all of them, if you are so interested. Exactly. Hey, I remembered the cheese today. I did buffalo mac and cheese. So cheese is kind of important for that, but yeah, I remembered it. So we're all good today. excellent job remembering the quoto. The queso. Exactly, yes. Crossing the ocean, I thought this was in the Carolinas. Yes, it is. So what I want Margaret to be referring to here is that she's originally from England. So I want this to indicate to people that the hunters are from have been pursuing her since her time living in Europe. And I hope that also conveys they have a shared history as well. But I think that will come up more later, so I don't know how deep I need to get into it here. Yep, the hunters are transcontinental. Like I said, their mission, their goal is to wipe out all witches everywhere. So what would they just call it, like the old country? Where they came from. Old times back up. Yeah, yeah, that's probably better. Or the good old days back in the old country. Yeah, but I feel like with both of them and what I'm trying to establish, that like they probably would have had some good times, but there would have always been the looming threat of the hunters. So, yeah, it would have been some good times, but some very bad times as well. Alright, I need to remember what she actually said. Okay, so she didn't go into detail. No, because she said something about she's still here. Um. Okay, so she's. Alright, so she's. Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay, so we already got that. I before E, except after C, unless you're a weird beige neighbor. Yeah, I. That's probably the most common spelling mistake I make is I's and E's in the wrong place. Vowels are tricky devils. Yes, yeah. So how would she ask that? Man, this is gonna be a long scene. Yun! What up? How's it going? How's the rest of your weekend been? Great! I have a huge headache. Oof. That does not sound fun. I hope you are able to shake it soon. Man, everyone's having a rough weekend. Weekends need to be for not dealing with shit all the time. Be lurking while editing chapter 6. Yeah, of course, no worries. I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out. Oh yeah, and daylight savings. There was a funny post I saw on Instagram this morning. Someone was like, why are we losing an hour while we're all sleeping? We should lose the hour between like 4 and 5 on Monday. I'm like, yes. That sounds much better. Meant to tell you I had an interview Friday while fighting for your gastronomical system's life. That's awesome! That is dope. Yeah, it's awesome that you had a good first interview and they already want you for a second. Yeah, I hope the second goes well, and I know you really want to switch to something else, so yeah. Send in all the good luck and good vibes your way, Major. It would be as a demand planner for a company that makes generators for hospitals and stuff. Nice. So how do we want to say this? Yeah, that should be fine. Calling Native Americans natives in this context makes sense, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think that works better. Good call, Major. Kokoro finished multitasking, washing the dishes. Nice. Yeah, I did a lot of my dishwashing earlier, following up my meal prep. Are you sure you want to jinx a streamer, Major? Because this would be a very uninteresting stream. Then again, never know. You might, you all might want me to shut up for a while. All right. I appreciate you, Major. Great way to solve the whole native versus Indian thing is to call out directly in the script, have another character be like, or whatever. So, yeah. The way I was coming to it is I don't want that to be a point of contention between characters in the script. Um, and to me at least, I always try to call Native Americans because um, as I've learned more about why they were called Indians for so long was um, problematic, questionable, whatever word you want to say. Because basically, like, the first explorers thought they had gone all the way around the world to India, so they were just wrong. But I know some Native Americans will call themselves Indians, and that is for them to do, and for them to decide to do. But yeah, that's kind of where I am at with it. Christopher Columbus, dumbest Italian. I mean, you're not wrong. Just because you're good at sailing doesn't mean you're good at other things. And I mean, the other thing I wanted to do with this is, as I've mentioned a couple times before, I've been watching a lot of older movies from like 40s, 50s, 60s recently. And a lot of westerns at that time, especially, um, the way in which they depict Native Americans is always as quote unquote savages, and they're the bad guys and they're encroaching on our rights and our land, and much, much worse than that. So I wanted specifically to make a point that if I was to include Native Americans in a script, that it would not be that. And so that's why I wanted to do some research and include them in a way that seemed more realistic to what hopefully it would have been at that time. Mariners, what's up? How's it going? How's the rest of your weekend going? Are you hanging out with Yun doing some editing? Ah, oh, major typoed. What? Good, thanks. Yes, sadly, I'm with. uh, I didn't say it. Okay. It be your own people, Fitty. It be your own people. uh. Okay. I want to make a note of this. So these are little things that never show up in the outline, but you find as you write. Because we know ultimately at the end Bryn is going to die. Spoilers. We did the whole outline on stream. Um, Having her talk about what the mind does when you're face to face with death, and she says see people long since gone, and so we're going to have when she dies, she'll see the person she left behind. So that's one of those things that like I didn't think about when we were writing the outline, but writing through the actual script, it's like, oh, this thing can come back later. So I need to make a yeah, we did descriptions for Margaret and Helene. Okay. You can tell I'm off my game. First case of mishap now. That is. Yeah. We'll give you a pass since you were not feeling your best this weekend. But next stream you better be on. No, I'm just joking. Major, you can do whatever you want. Okay, so we covered all of that. Sorry, there's something in this section that I thought we had in the outline, and I'm just wondering if I put it later. Because if we did, I'll wait, but otherwise I want to make sure we include it. Okay, yeah, this. So this is what we want to tie back to at the end. That Bryn had someone she loved back when she was living in Ireland that she lost. Yeah, okay. Okay. Would she even consider this, or would she just, like, agree to help Margaret because they're old friends? Yeah, yeah, because I split it up into two separate things, it'll be the second one that she's more hesitant about, that Margaret will need to talk her into. Margaret's sister is the case of alcohol. Oh, that reminds me. So, earlier, I think I might have an anachronism. So, I don't know the answer to this. Might need to Google it. But, would they have. Would glasses for drinking be common in the early 1700s? Or would they have used something else to drink out of? Let's ask Google. uh, what did colonists in 1700 America use to drink out of? I don't know if that's an actual question, but water skins? But like in taverns. Tavern barware in the 17th century colonial America. Well, 17th century would be 1600s, right? Or do I have that backwards? Yeah. Wood colonial taverns is fragile glass use. Metal cup. Yes, this is the question more or less I have. So medieval to 19th century taverns use leather tankards. Silas! Hi, hello, what's up? How is it going? Okay, colonial America, depending on your region, use either pottery, wood, or metal tankards. And serve predominantly hard cider. Okay. So maybe pewter, another metal. Yeah. So a pewter tankard. Or pewter mugs. Cheers guys, still groggy. Still been awake for a couple hours. Yeah, my brain is... Yeah. Yeah, that daylight savings makes it even worse too. Yeah, all's going well so far in stream, just working on our current scene. Getting some, more stuff done. Plural for a large cup, typically cylindrical with a handle used without a saucer. So, yes, that is. So she grabs out a bottle and a pair of pewter tankards. So my instinct was right when I thought about that afterwards, because I was like, I don't know that they would use glass as like common things to drink out of at that time period. Here, fancy you scene. Ah, I see what you did there. Okay. wow, we're already over an hour in. I think today I'll take a break from my conlang work. Basically working on it every day for the past week and a bit. You can blame Yun for that. It's completely fine. You're in a safe space here. I'm just joking. How goes screw? It's going well so far. Um, we are into scene 20, page 15. So we're still pretty early on, but I don't think we've run into any major issues so far, any significant issues so far. We would never have major issues here. Um, but yeah, some days it goes better than others, but we're trying to just grind through the first draft. Hopefully it's not completely terrible. Weren't we having major issues earlier? No comment. We're giving Major a pass for that because she's had a rough weekend. All right. Like I said, we are about halfway through, so I am going to take a short break. I will put up some word games for anyone who would like to join in. It's called Words on Stream, but it is basically just uh, take the letters, write a word with the letters. Kind of like Scrabble, but not. But yeah, I hope that helps. Um, Good luck, have fun. I'll be back in a little bit. Well done, everyone. Oh, Major let me win. I appreciate you, Major. Yeah, Kokoro, some of the rules with this one we've had to kind of, or I've had to kind of figure out as we went. Um, like at the bottom, it'll show all of the possible um, number, word, number combinations, and they're all in alphabetical order per number of letters in the word. And then you can only have one correct guess per lock on the timer per chatter. So, a couple rules we've had to figure out as we've gone. Yeah, and it's probably much easier to do on a PC versus a phone. I was watching some of Yun's Town Hall on Friday. I was watching some of it on my phone and like trying to switch over to hit the thing to type something into chat. It was just, yeah. It took a bit longer because I am not used to doing that. Alright, we are back doing some writing. So, we have kind of the rest of the scene of Margaret and Bryn once Bryn realizes that it's Margaret, and Bryn trying to find out why Margaret has come here. Um, and then Bryn agrees to help Margaret find out the truth of what she saw. And so they head into a back room to have some privacy and perform the magic of magic stuffs. Town Hall was a huge hit, tons of interaction. Yeah, it was. Um, I wish I could have been around for more of it because a lot of the stuff that I heard, like I said, I had it on in my car while I was driving home. I was not watching, only listening, not typing or anything. Um, and then I had it on while I was working out as well after I got home. So I was able to listen to a bit of it, but it was just like in between stuff, and then I had to go like shower after workout, so I missed a little bit there. But yeah, all the stuff I heard was really cool, really engaging, and it sounded like everyone had a lot of fun with it. So I'm glad it worked out well. Uh, Mariners will be working on clipping it up for social pose. Follow her Insta if you like. Otherwise, VOD is still up. Nice. Yeah, at the beginning of stream, Major was asking about the community beta read we did yesterday. And so I was telling her you finally decided to put VODs up, so. Oh, no, not Mariners? Marinera? Okay. Is that Mariner's new name? It's gonna be Marinara Rights. Would have been funnier if you. Yeah, it was still funny. Speaking of clips, I want to see. Probably shouldn't be doing this while I'm streaming, but whatever. This is a clip from. That shouldn't be up. Oh, I forgot to turn words on stream off. um. Yeah, my mistake, Major. Yeah, Levington did give a lot of feedback as well. Like I said, I copied it all into my notes document and ended up reading through it all this morning. It was some helpful insight. Yeah, I posted up a link to a clip from the stream last night, which was, I think it was probably very funny. Yeah, switch screens. I messed up. Oh well. You'll take the pity laugh. Mariners telling me that Levington is actually a screenplay judge. Yeah, he said that. I don't remember if it was in the town hall or in the discussion on your Discord, but he did say he was a reader for some competitions. So, yeah, I don't know if he's like a judge, but so the way I understand it, and he can probably explain it better than I could, but because a lot of screenplay competitions have so many entrants, what they do is they basically give all the screenplays out to what they call readers. The readers are usually paid. They should be always paid, but that's a different story. And so the readers will go through the script, read the whole thing, and provide feedback based on what the competition is looking for. And they generally will give it like a grade or a recommendation or not, or something like that. And then the judges will take that, because it's much easier to read, 1 page of feedback than it is to read a 120-page script. So they use the readers as kind of the first round of judging. And a lot of the screenplays, like, some will give out the reader comments back to you for free. Some of them you have to pay for. But those are also helpful to get an insight into what someone else thought while reading your script, who is obviously, if they're hired to as a reader for a competition, they've read a lot of screenplays at that point. You would hope, at least. But sometimes that feedback can also be very infuriating because you think you made something explicitly clear in your screenplay and they still don't get it. Not that I'm sour about that or anything. Anyway, moving on. Where were we? Yeah. Yeah, not feisty at all. Well, so Major has a little bit more insight into this than other people because she read it and she had a question at the end of like, oh wait, if this, then what about that? And I'm like, okay, I need to make it more explicit that at the end, this is what was real, this was not.
I like this one.
Silas, thank you for the follow. Um, yeah, so Major had it as a comment when she was reading through it as my editor, and then like I thought I had made it clear enough in a revision, and ended up submitting it to a competition, and yeah, the reader still didn't get it, even though I thought it was very explicit. Um, yeah, man, y'all got me sidetracked, and yeah. Then again, I might have sidetracked myself. I'm not sure. Anyway, where was I? Oh, we're making a potion and doing some witchcraft. Chillin just woke from a nap and goes, "It's Fitty!" in a sleeping voice. It was really. Aw. Hi, Chillin. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you had a nice nap. He says hi back. Nice. He's very much still waking up. Fair. Okay, how are we going to do this? I believe this is all exterior. Sobakin! Hi, hello, welcome in. How's it going? This is where all the magic is happening. There we go. We hug everyone. Oh no, because it would be interior X. Okay. So interior X. No. So if everything in the montage was happening in like a specific area, like we have one earlier, that's all around the the Shawnee settlement, we can go interior exterior in the settlement because it's all constrained to one location. But because this montage is going to go some stuff at the settlement and some stuff at the Shawnee tribe, we're doing it different. Now I need to go back to the beginning to remember what happened that we are showing. Okay, it was on the plains. That's what I thought. Okay, so on it would be on the plains, right? Not in. Wait, who kisses who? This is the important stuff. Helene pulls Margaret close and kisses her. Okay. Scrolling so fast. Yeah. Well, yeah, I knew about where it was that I needed to get to. Yeah, I got the zoomies. On the plains beyond the settlement, Helene pulls Margaret in, kisses her. Lake. Would that be the right word? So pyre. See, I imagine a brazier more like a a tool used to illuminate an area, whereas a pyre to me is more of a large fire, like a bowl of fire, yes, that illuminates a specific area. Yeah, and I want, like, because this is describing Margaret seeing Helene getting burned at the stake. So I feel like a pyre is more of a large fire. Thought a pyre was a pile of corpses that is lit on fire. Let's check definition. That is a definition for it. A funeral pile, a combustible heap on which corpses are buried, or any heap or pile of combustibles. Yeah, so it might not be technically right. Large fire. Let's look for synonyms for large fire. I like the word conflagration, but I don't think that's correct here. None of these kind of... Phlogiston is the only logical choice. I thought that was a made-up word because it's a thing in Genshin. I didn't realize it was a real word.
Phlogiston.
Oh, you were kidding? Yeah, so was I. I knew that was a real thing. So we can either leave it as a pyre ignites, we could change it to like a large fire ignites, an inferno ignites. I've literally never heard this word before today. Learn something new every day. Okay, so I'm not the only one who didn't know that word. Yeah, I'd only heard it previously in Genshin as something else. Or we can say just like flames ignite. As flames ignite. Okay, yeah, I think that works. Yes. Thank you, Major. Sorry, I'm trying to decide. Should I just include every beat? So, I'm trying to decide if I should include a flash of Margaret changing her face, and then her eating the mushrooms, and then her waking up in the Shawnee Longhouse and looking out and seeing Helene. Do I include all of those, or do I just skip from her watching Helene get burned to seeing Helene again? Because to this point, all three of them specifically revolve around Helene and Margaret. Does Bryn have control of the memories? That's a good question. I would say Bryn is able to see everything that has happened, but conveying that in a movie would take too long. So I just want to like show the flashes to remind people of the most important parts of what happened. And when we come back to the scene, Bryn will know everything that has happened. Then yeah, show the flashes of in between. Okay. So how would we want to say that? Okay. So because this is a montage, and we're not saying like interior exterior for specific locations, I'm capitalizing the keywords for the location to make it more clear. Alright, then what we need, copy that scene header so we can come back down here. And instead of writing continuous, we write back to scene. Okay. So now Bryn knows everything we know in what we've seen. Why does that look wrong? Okay. It's apparently correct, so I'll take it. So, obviously, having to see all those memories again would be quite a bit for Margaret. Sage! Hi, hello, welcome in. How is your weekend going? It is going well. We're doing some more writing. What's a weekend? I think that answers that question. Oh, that's a word, isn't it? Oh, it's apostrophe. Twas true indeed. Twas. Marvelous. Indeed. Um, I feel like that is the worst thing to say in a screenplay is like a character doesn't know what to say or doesn't know how to feel because like we're supposed to know those things. But like in the situation, trying to think of like, okay, what emotions would you be feeling if you just experienced this? Yeah. Character could be easily overwhelmed and struggle to make decisions. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, her initial reaction, we have that she's overwhelmed and kind of recoils. Because what she saw was just like, was such a mix of disparate emotions of the joy of being with Helene, but then seeing her die to the fallout and then seeing her again and the confirmation that it really was her. Like, it, I think that would be very overwhelming. So I don't want her to say you haven't figured it out yet, because I feel like that's the cliche way of saying it. I just tried to roll over in bed and ended up throwing my phone across the room. Oh. Uh, yeah, the struggle be real. Oof. Oof is correct. Do you find yourself getting to know your character's personality and values early on, or do you end up changing a lot of character related stuff while drafting. Um, Early on, I feel like we get kind of broad strokes of characters, especially going through the outline. Um, like I had kind of a broad sense of who a lot of these characters were, but definitely as we've gotten into actually writing them, their interactions, their dialogue, um, it's kind of crystallized the characters and clarified them a lot more. So yeah, we definitely have been discovering them more as we've progressed. That's like a whole week. That's how it's been going. Oof, man, everyone's on the struggle bus. We all need like more hours, not hours be taken away from it. Actually, Sage doesn't have to deal with that bullshit. So Sage didn't lose an hour last night. Congratulations, Sage. You didn't have to deal with losing any time. Mercury is in Gatorade or something. Sorry. That was an intentional. Yeah, I figured it was. Eight. What the? Why are? Why is Nightbot in like European dates? Ugh. Nightbot's on vacation. That's what it is. Yes, Major. I thought that one was very good. Thank you. All right. Gotta think about this one. The hunters weren't after you isn't going to be the first thing she says. Okay, so I'll write out all the things I think she needs to say and then figure out the order after. Okay. carries for the first time with the second. Decades stays the same. Yeah. So, the thing I'm running into is... So the first sentence of this, she was burned but didn't die. Witches who are burned at the stake in this universe do die. The fact that she survived is something else entirely. Um... Yeah, it would be. It would be. Yeah, it would be something. We'll see if there's a place we can put it in. I don't know. Okay. I think this might be a good place to call it for tonight. All right. Yeah, Major, I like the comment of the cadence of the sentences from Bryn, so I got all three of them to follow the same cadence. So I think that should help a little bit. And then just Margaret's reaction of starting to process it. I think that works. Yeah, yeah. All right. Let us look and see who else is streaming. Oh, it looks like Levington is still streaming. Okay. So we will go right over there. Alright. Yeah, we're going to go right over to Levington, another screenwriter who also hangs out in Yun's community. Um, yeah, thank you everyone stopping by, hanging out, lurking, chatting, all the stuff, all the things. Oh, good call, Major. It's just Raid and Raid 2. Next stream will be on Tuesday at 5 Pacific. If you want to join the Discord, we do the notifications in there when I'm going live and try to do some other stuff. What else am I missing? I don't know. I appreciate you all. This has been a lot of fun tonight. Hope you all have a great week, and hopefully I will see y'all back here on Tuesday.
Thanks for checking out my channel. Do whatever you want. Live your life. Hope you're happy in your body. Much love to you, and see you around.